Have you ever wondered why the guy who barely passed high school is driving a Tesla while you're struggling with student loans? It sounds crazy, right? But it's a question I've spent years thinking about, and today we'll dive into it. Hi, I'm Alex. Today, I'm going to show you why being smart might actually be the reason you're struggling financially. Before we dive into this uncomfortable truth, hit the like button, leave a comment, and make sure to subscribe for more insights. Most people think intelligence equals financial success, but research shows that's not always the case. Let me explain. A study on 60,000 men found that once their income hit $55,000, being smarter didn't guarantee more money. In fact, the wealthiest individuals scored slightly lower on intelligence tests than their peers. Mind-blowing, right? This shows that intelligence stops being the deciding factor once you reach a certain income level. Other traits matter more. One of these traits is what psychologists call stupid grit. Let me explain what this means and why it's so important. Stupid grit is the ability to keep pushing toward a goal even when it doesn't seem logical or safe. Think of mountain climbers. They keep climbing despite exhaustion and danger. They don't stop, even when it's risky. That's the essence of stupid grit. In wealth building, this means sticking with small investments, even when the results feel slow. Persistence pays off in the end. Smart people often overanalyze early results and give up too soon. People with stupid grit, however, stay the course. When I started investing, I made tiny contributions. I almost gave up because they didn't seem to matter, but they did, over time. Another reason average people sometimes do better financially is that they act quickly without overthinking every decision. I had a friend who started a lawn care business with no business plan. While I researched, he was already earning money. He didn't wait for everything to be perfect. He just took action. A lot of smart people get stuck in the planning stage. Analysis paralysis happens when you're trying to make everything perfect before you take any steps. But perfection doesn't exist. Sometimes you just have to jump in and figure things out as you go. The smart ones often spend too much time planning. Meanwhile, average people take action, learn from their mistakes, and make progress while others are still stuck in the research phase. When it comes to building wealth, the key is persistence, not perfection. Don't overthink, just act. If you wait for the perfect opportunity, you'll be left behind. Sometimes, the best move is simply to start. Now let's talk about emotional intelligence, EI. Many people overlook this, but it plays a huge role in financial success. Emotional intelligence helps you understand people, build relationships, and manage stress. It's crucial for business. Studies show that emotional intelligence can explain 85–90% of your success, while IQ only accounts for 10%. In business, being able to connect with others emotionally is often more important than being the smartest person in the room. Think about it. You might have a brilliant idea, but if you can't convince others to back you, it doesn't matter. Emotional intelligence is also about managing your own emotions, especially in stressful situations like market crashes. Staying calm when others panic is a skill that helps you make smart financial decisions under pressure. People with high emotional intelligence know how to read a room, empathize with others, and build trust. That's why relationships, networking, and communication are often more important than raw intelligence. Another advantage of emotional intelligence is your ability to persevere in tough times, without letting emotions derail you. This leads to another powerful concept: comfort with uncertainty. The best investors embrace uncertainty instead of fearing it. Smart people tend to want everything figured out before they make a move, but that's not always possible. Some of the best entrepreneurs started with nothing and learned along the way. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. It's easy to get stuck in analysis, thinking you need all the facts. But sometimes you just have to take the leap. For example, many successful entrepreneurs didn't have business plans or big funding, but they made things work. The difference between them and others is simple. They took risks, learned from their mistakes, and kept pushing forward. In contrast, smart people can be afraid of failure, especially when their reputation is on the line. This fear holds them back. People who have nothing to lose tend to take more risks, which often leads to bigger rewards in the long run. Thesis: The smart people often feel like they have to protect their reputation, which stops them from taking chances. But those who aren't worried about looking foolish are free to take risks and embrace opportunities others might ignore. This is why many average people succeed financially, while smarter individuals struggle to break through. When you're not afraid of looking stupid, you're more willing to test out wild ideas that might actually work. Remember the pet rock craze from the 1970s? It was a ridiculous idea, yet it made the creator millions. People who are willing to look foolish sometimes end up making fortunes because they're not afraid to try new things. Smart people often stick to what they know and avoid risky ventures, which keeps them stuck in the same place. On the other hand, average people are more flexible and open to experimentation, even if they risk failing. Another key point is prestige. Smart people often fall into the trap of chasing prestige, which costs them money. Whether it's buying a luxury car, attending an Ivy League school, or getting the best job title, prestige can drain your wealth. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of impressing others, but that mindset can hold you back financially. Instead of focusing on looks and status, wealthy people focus on what works, on investing in opportunities with real returns. For instance, instead of going to an expensive college, you could invest that money into a business or index funds. Smart people often go for the prestige of an Ivy League degree, even though it can leave them with massive debt. Meanwhile, average people might choose a state university, and with the savings, start investing and building wealth. The average person avoids the prestige trap, saving money that could be invested, instead of paying for unnecessary status symbols. This is why some people who seem less impressive are building real wealth, while others are stuck in debt. It's not about status. It's about smart decisions, avoiding debt, and investing wisely from a young age. A guy who dropped out of college to become a plumber ended up owning a thriving business, while his peers struggled with debt. It's not the prestige or the fancy degrees that matter. It's the willingness to take risks and build something real. The plumber's story is a perfect example of how focusing on building wealth, not prestige, leads to success. It's all about making decisions based on earning potential, not on what looks impressive to others. Wealthy people often avoid buying flashy things, while smart people often get trapped by the need for status symbols. Smart people might buy a luxury car, thinking it represents success, but it can actually drain their finances. Meanwhile, average people drive reliable cars, focusing on investing that extra money into assets that build wealth. The key to financial success isn't about showing off. It's about choosing long-term gains over short-term status. When you focus on results instead of appearances, you can build real wealth that lasts for generations. Smart people often get stuck in the rat race, constantly chasing promotions and titles, which leaves them with little time to invest. Meanwhile, average people focus on creating passive income streams and building wealth through investments. The smart people's obsession with prestige often blinds them to the opportunities that actually create lasting wealth. You don't need to impress others. You need to make decisions that align with your long-term financial goals. So, what do average people do differently? They focus on what really matters: smart investments, opportunities, and consistency. One of the biggest mistakes smart people make is assuming that their intelligence will always carry them to success. But intelligence can actually hold you back if you're unwilling to take risks, make mistakes, and learn along the way. The most successful people embrace failure as a learning experience, and they use it to grow stronger and smarter. On the other hand, smart people often avoid risks because they fear looking foolish, which prevents them from reaching their full potential. It's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes. What matters is how you learn from them and keep moving forward. Successful people are not afraid to look foolish. They know that trying and failing is part of the journey to wealth. In fact, some of the most successful entrepreneurs failed multiple times before they struck gold. If you're afraid to fail, you'll never achieve the success you want. The fear of failure keeps too many smart people stuck. The fear of looking stupid stops many smart people from taking the risks that could lead to big rewards. Meanwhile, people who embrace failure and take calculated risks are the ones who create wealth. The key takeaway is this: success doesn't always require genius-level intelligence. just persistence and the right mindset. Intelligence is important, but it's not enough on its own. You need emotional intelligence, grit, and a willingness to take action. If you're constantly worried about being wrong or looking foolish, you'll never take the steps necessary to build wealth. Smart people tend to overthink and overanalyze, which can paralyze them. The average person just gets started. It's easy to get stuck in your head, but taking action, even if imperfect, is what moves you closer to your goals. The most successful people I know didn't wait for perfect conditions. They made the best of what they had and kept moving. This is where emotional intelligence comes in again. Understanding when to take risks, manage stress, and learn from your mistakes. The willingness to act, to make mistakes, and learn quickly is what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. Ease. The smartest people often fear being wrong, which leads them to avoid risks, and that's what holds them back. The people who succeed financially are the ones who aren't afraid of failure, because they see it as part of the process. If you're constantly trying to be perfect, you'll never take the risks needed to build wealth. The best way to break free from this mindset is to embrace the idea that failure is an inevitable part of success. Another important factor is the ability to recognize opportunities, even when they don't seem perfect. Opportunities often don't come in perfect packages. The key is recognizing potential and being ready to act when it appears. Smart people often miss opportunities because they're waiting for the perfect situation. Meanwhile, average people seize them. The difference between success and failure often comes down to timing and the willingness to act on what you know. Smart people tend to be perfectionists, and this perfectionism can keep them from taking the leap they need to get ahead. Perfectionism might feel safe, but it's actually the enemy of progress. Taking imperfect action leads to greater success. Perfectionism keeps you stuck in analysis, but taking messy, imperfect action is what moves you forward. Successful people understand that mistakes are just stepping stones to success. They embrace failure and move on quickly. This leads to another key principle. Focus on the process, not just the results. Consistent effort leads to long-term success. If you focus only on the outcome, you'll get discouraged by setbacks. Focus on the small steps that will get you there. Those who succeed financially don't obsess over failures. They keep going, knowing that each mistake teaches them something valuable. The smartest people often overthink every decision. Meanwhile, successful people make decisions and learn from the results. It's easy to get lost in the details, but success isn't about getting everything perfect. It's about getting started and adjusting. Think about the most successful entrepreneurs. They don't wait for the perfect time. They take action, even when things aren't ideal. The more you try to avoid mistakes, the less you'll accomplish. Taking risks is essential to growth and success. Smart people often get stuck in perfectionism, but the key to success is to be willing to take imperfect action. 14th, when you stop worrying about being perfect, you'll start taking bold actions that actually get you closer to your goals. You can't let fear of making mistakes hold you back. The faster you fail, the faster you can learn and improve. Real growth happens when you push past your fear of failure and embrace challenges head-on. Most people never take risks because they fear failure, but that fear keeps them stuck. The truly successful embrace it. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail isn't intelligence. It's the willingness to take action. The more you act, the more you learn. The more you learn, the closer you get to your goals. So, next time you feel paralyzed by perfectionism or fear of failure, remember that success is about taking action, not being perfect. To get rich, you need to start making moves now. Even if they're small, every action you take brings you closer to your goal. The path to success is full of mistakes, failures, and risks, but each step you take moves you closer to financial freedom. So, stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start today, take action, and trust that the results will follow in time. Please. The smartest people often overanalyze, waiting for the perfect plan. Meanwhile, average people just take the leap. This is where persistence becomes more important than intelligence. Keep going, even when it feels like you're not making progress. The key to financial success is to keep pushing forward, even when it seems like everything is working against you. Smart people can get paralyzed by analysis, but the key to building wealth is to keep moving forward, no matter what. Think about your biggest goals. Are they being held back by perfectionism? Let go of that fear and start taking small steps. Small, consistent actions lead to big results. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Start today, even if it's just a small move. It's easy to feel like you need a perfect plan before taking action. But the truth is, no plan is perfect. Start and adjust. You don't need to be perfect to be successful. All you need is the courage to start, the persistence to keep going, and the ability to learn. The key is to keep going when others quit. Persistence, not intelligence, will be your greatest asset in building wealth. If you never quit, if you keep moving forward, you'll eventually achieve your financial goals, no matter how long it takes. The truth is, no one knows everything. So stop waiting for the perfect time or perfect plan. Just start. People who get rich aren't the smartest. They're the ones who keep pushing, learning, and adapting as they go. As you take action, you'll learn more than you could ever learn by just thinking and planning. Experience is the best teacher. The successful know that learning from mistakes is crucial. They don't fear failure. They embrace it as part of the process. Failure is not the end. It's just a lesson. Smart people fear failure, but the successful people learn and move on. If you learn to embrace failure, you'll start seeing it as a valuable opportunity for growth, not a setback. Most people fear failure because they're trying to protect their reputation. But when you stop caring about that, you start winning. Let go of the need to be perfect and focus on making progress. Small steps forward will eventually lead to big results. The smartest people often get stuck in their own heads, but the people who succeed are the ones who keep moving forward. So, stop overthinking, stop fearing failure, and start taking action. That's the real key to financial success. The most successful people are those who never give up. They learn from mistakes and keep going, no matter what. While others quit, the successful persist. They keep adapting and learning, even when they feel like they're failing. The road to wealth is full of ups and downs, but the people who succeed are the ones who keep pushing forward. It's not about how smart you are, it's about how hard you're willing to work and how much you're willing to learn. Success is a journey, not a destination. It's about continually taking action and learning from each step you take. 2. Don't let fear of failure stop you from taking action. If you want to build wealth, you need to act and learn as you go. Wealth isn't built by waiting for the perfect plan. It's built by consistent action, learning, and adapting along the way. The most successful people are those who take action, even when they don't have all the answers. They trust the process. Once you start taking action, you'll begin to see results. It may take time, but progress is progress, no matter how small. If you keep moving forward, no matter how slow, you'll eventually get where you want to go. Success is built on persistence. There will be obstacles along the way, but successful people view them as challenges to overcome, not as reasons to quit. The people who succeed are the ones who never stop learning. Every failure is a lesson that moves them closer to success. Smart people might hesitate, but successful people take action. The key to wealth is being willing to take risks and learn. If you keep learning from your mistakes, you'll eventually succeed. The key is to keep going. Even when things don't go as planned, there's no such thing as a perfect plan. But if you keep taking action, you'll refine your strategy and get closer to your goal. Smart people often wait for the perfect moment, but success comes to those who create their own opportunities through action. The most successful people act quickly and adapt along the way. They're not waiting for everything to align perfectly. Every step forward, no matter how small, takes you closer to your goal. So don't wait. Just start taking action today. If you never start, you'll never succeed. The key is to begin, then adjust and learn as you go. Progress is the goal. Start today. Don't wait for the perfect plan or the perfect moment. Take action, learn, and keep moving forward. Success isn't about being perfect. It's about taking consistent, imperfect action and learning from every step you take. The smartest people often get stuck in analysis, overthinking every decision. The successful take action and adjust as they go. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you'll never get started. Start now and make adjustments as you learn. The path to success is built by those who embrace failure and keep moving forward. Every mistake is a lesson. The people who succeed financially are those who act, learn from mistakes, and keep going, no matter how many setbacks. Perfection is an illusion. The real key to success is persistence and the willingness to learn from your mistakes. It's easy to get caught up in planning and waiting for the perfect moment, but the real moment is now. Start today. Stop waiting for the perfect opportunity. The perfect opportunity is created by those who act, learn, and adjust. If you want to be successful, you have to stop overthinking and start doing. Action, not perfection, is what moves you forward. You might fail, but that's okay. Every successful person has failed before. What matters is getting back up and trying again. The smart ones overanalyze and hesitate. The successful ones take action, even if they don't have all the answers. By taking action, you'll start to see results. Even if they're small at first, they will add up over time. If you want to build wealth, you have to start taking action. Don't wait for the perfect plan. Just begin and learn. Every successful person started somewhere. They didn't wait for everything to be perfect. They took action and learned. The people who succeed are the ones who are willing to fail and keep learning, instead of letting failure stop them. Wealth is built through consistent effort, learning from failures, and being willing to take risks when others hesitate. The smartest people don't always succeed. The ones who succeed are the ones who take risks, fail, and learn from them. If you fear failure, you'll never take the necessary risks to build wealth. Success comes from stepping out of your comfort zone. You don't need to be the smartest. You just need the courage to take risks, act, and learn from your mistakes. So, stop waiting for everything to be perfect. Start taking action now, and trust that the results will follow. Don't let perfectionism or fear of failure hold you back. Start now, take action, and adjust as you go. The people who succeed financially aren't the ones who have all the answers. They're the ones who take action anyway. The secret to wealth is not intelligence, but the ability to act, persist, and learn from every experience. Stop focusing on being perfect and start focusing on progress. Every step forward counts, no matter how small. The smartest people often hesitate because they want everything perfect. The successful people act, learn, and adapt. To achieve financial success, you must learn to fail fast, learn quickly, and keep moving forward. Success is not about being the smartest. It's about being willing to act, make mistakes, and keep learning. So, stop worrying about failure. Start acting and use each mistake as a lesson to get better and move closer to your goals. Remember, progress is made by those who take action, not by those who wait for the perfect plan to unfold. The final secret to success: take action, embrace failure, and never stop learning. Your future self will thank you.